Nikola loses almost 50% of its market cap with new shares issued. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Thanks once again for joining us. Wanted to thank our Patreon supporters as well as our subscribers. If you enjoyed the show, please take time to like and subscribe. We're covering a lot of different electric vehicles, including Nikola's, and we're doing kind of a once-a-week update on sort of big news that's happening with Nikola, and today's the case with that as well. So the big news is that on Friday of this past week, the 17th of July, Nikola announced the issuance of a large number of shares. It turns out that the combination of that share issuance and a downgrade by Deutsche Bank has resulted in Nikola's stock price going from the low 40s to sort of the mid 20s in terms of $26, $27 a share. They also indicated that they're expecting the stock price to fall further. It turns out that there are a number of warrants that were issued to the owners of the preceding company that Nikola merged with to go public that had to get their shares, and now they have the right to actually sell those shares. So this is good news for them because they make money, but bad news for Nikola because its market cap is taking a major hit, as in heading for 50%. So we decided to cover this today because one of the outs that Nikola has to get into the zone of being a very well-regarded corporation is to actually leverage the market cap they have currently to acquire assets in the form of companies or other assets that would allow it to sort of grow into a regular company. The disaster that happens is if they keep losing market share or market cap, they start to run out of the resources necessary to acquire the kind of assets they need to actually emerge and become a legitimately sizable company that's pretty successful. So I'm a little bit surprised by how this is turning out because market cap is an interesting thing. When you have it, there's all kinds of flexibility to do things with it. When you don't have it, it disappears perhaps forever, and you now have the ability to do nothing with it. So I'm a little bit stunned because the bankers working with Nikola actually did a really good job of circumventing public scrutiny by going ahead and executing in the way that they did. And so for them now to start losing that market cap, in the form of stock price declining is a bit of a surprise. And we're actually looking forward to what their strategy is going to be. It's also interesting to note that he's called the executive chairman, Mr. Milton, and notice he's not the CEO, he's the executive chairman, even though he put the company together, runs it, etc. So we're kind of in an interesting zone here in terms of like what's going to happen. If the stock price continues to crash, what's implied right now, it's going to go from the late 20s, possibly into the teens, and then we would think it would keep heading south from there because other than promises from Mr. Milton, there aren't a lot of entities or assets to show investors that would encourage them to sort of buy and hold the stock. There have been upgrades, but the upgrades we think are coming from the folks who underwrote the deal, who were required to help create a stable market in it in terms of buying it, et cetera. So their research, to some extent, I think would be considered somewhat biased. So where we are now is, as we've been in our last few stories, kind of what's going to happen with Nikola. We don't know, but I don't think they know either, because now we have the market getting an opportunity to show whether they're confident in what's being done. The other thing we don't have a clear understanding of with Nikola right now is that it was revealed by Mr. Milton that the trucks that they're building in prototypes are actually being built in Ulm, Germany at an Iveco plant. So Mr. Milton indicated that the truck is now in production. Well, it's kind of in production. There are parts of the trucks that are being built with Iveco parts of the truck, and the other parts of the truck come from their R&D efforts that have been made by Trevor Milton and Nikola. So this brings up a really interesting question. If Iveco is actually lending portions of its truck to Nikola as they're building the prototypes, Mr. Milton has articulated that he's thrilled that they're going to be breaking ground on their new factory in Arizona, I guess the Phoenix area. But the question that comes up is, why not just build the truck along with the prototypes in Ulm, Germany? Because one of the key places that they're looking to get sales is inside the European Union, and there are all kinds of tax breaks and other opportunities where the European Union is trying to increase the amount of zero-emission vehicles. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and Nikola has specifically developed trucks to take advantage of some of these opportunities. The answer, I don't know what the answer is to that, but it seems very strange to have all these prototypes being built over there and displayed in the United States. But he doesn't seem to want to build large numbers of them, but he's referencing the fact that they're in production in that facility. So we'll keep you posted on this one, but it sort of further extends the large number of questions about sort of how is Nikola going to operate, how are they going to get prototypes built, where are they going to build their vehicles, is it Ulm, Germany, is it Phoenix? There's a huge number of unknowns. So Mr. Milton has tried to be responsive to downgrades as well as negative comments made in tweets that are affecting the stock price. But it's interesting because, yes, you can answer those, which is good to not let those fester. But on the other hand, having test drivable finished products that people can get in and drive, I think would actually answer questions way better, and I think would have a larger impact potentially on their stock, etc. The one other thing that I wanted to focus on with Nikola today is the excellence with which they've done great marketing and market research to understand the space that they're in and then leverage, if you will, their process. So an example here is the fact that I think is fascinating is that Daimler-Benz has a large research dollar effort that's gone into creating electric trucks, and they've got some prototypes out there that are running, but they're not doing mass quantity production yet because of primarily battery weight. Nobody has figured out what Tesla has been able to figure out, which is how to get the weight of the battery at a level with software and the performance you need without a weight of battery that causes it to not be economically viable. So one of the most impressive elements of Nikola's marketing in our mind is the fact that they now have a situation where they actually, Daimler's been probably working on electric trucks for at least 10, if not 15 years. Nikola is into that zone for no more than 2 or 3 because the company is only 5 years old. And what's impressive and why we think they have a decent sized market cap is the fact that in terms of working in theory prototypes, to some extent, Nikola has the same number of working prototypes as some of the largest truck entities in the world sitting out there. So it is truly a race to see who delivers solutions that compete effectively with what Tesla's doing. But it's unclear if Nikola will be around long term in the race, but they have done an excellent job of both research and delivering sort of the current level of solution that's available anywhere in the world in terms of where we're at on production and delivery of hydrogen/electric vehicles. So I will give them credit for the type of research they've done, led by Mr. Milton. I also will give them credit for rapidly assembling the pieces, including a prototype, to have something for people to see that represents the possibility of what they're going to do. As the R&D efforts from the giants start to pay off to figure out this battery conundrum of weight relative to power output and range, those without R&D, i.e., in this case, Nikola, I think end up with a challenge in terms of existence. But until then, I think they can be around, and I think they can effectively make the case for the fact that they'll be there in the future. I guess the perhaps final thing that we wanted to review is the fact that he's done an excellent job of sort of marketing the number of units sort of ordered by Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch, and leveraging those number of units to actually garner credibility in the market space, where others like a Toyota may not have those large orders that they could lead on, as a way to sort of validate themselves in the marketplace in the electric truck space. In fact, I would argue that in terms of the largest order for hydrogen vehicle in the world seems to be that order that he's been able to finagle, and therefore it's sort of the underpinnings of the company. I, have been really surprised at some of the information I've seen coming out, because there's a discussion of huge numbers of trucks being produced by them. And I guess that's possible, but the challenge is because their fuel costs are 3 or 4 times that of electric or diesel, it's hard to imagine freight companies being able to stay cost competitive with those that are using other fuels if they went this route. Hence the large numbers of vehicles that are being suggested that they'll be putting out there, I think is very, very hard to imagine. So we look forward to how they deal with this challenge of market cap dip and the declining number of options they have to gain and establish credibility as a firm. And we will definitely keep you posted. But for now, it smells like Tesla's stock price is going to be down by 50% in a week, and it could end up down 75%, in another week, based on the fundamentals being so poor. But we will keep you updated on this and look forward to your comments. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Tschüss, macht's gut, au revoir, lehitrot, choda hafez, hey do, zdravstvuyte, ni hao ma, do widzenia, and in Jamaica we say, enough respect, walk good man.